I hired an investigator and discovered that my husband has been having an affair during his work trips, but I don't know what to do because we have two small kids, and he funds our lifestyle. Posted by you/throw-ra London mum. My husband, 47M, and I, 44F, have been married for just over a decade, and it has been, for the most part, a loving marriage centered around our two beautiful children. Of course, I've had grievances. He travels a lot for work, is constantly glued to his phone, and sometimes abruptly pops out for errands that he has always been incredibly vague about. Initially, these didn't concern me too much. He has a very demanding job that has allowed us to have a lifestyle I never thought possible, enabled me to leave work to be with the children, take us on wonderful holidays, and send the children to a great school. I always felt that complaining to him about his work, phone, computer, and random emergencies would be selfish, considering everything he does for us. However, 2 weeks ago, I started getting really suspicious after I found a condom in the inside pocket of his blazer. There was no reason for him to have it there, as we only ever have sex at home, and frankly, it isn't something we do as often as we used to. This prompted me to do something I never thought I would do. I found an opportunity to get into his phone when he wasn't looking. I'm not sure what I was looking for. I first checked his photos but couldn't find anything. Then I decided to check his messaging apps, WhatsApp, Telegram, but both were password locked, which I found very odd. Only a message could be accessed, but there was barely anything there. At this point, I had a sinking feeling that something was up. Last year, a friend was in a similar situation and used a digital investigator to learn more about her absent and secretive fiancé. The investigator discovered that this man had been living a complete double life, with a long-term girlfriend in Edinburgh and, unbelievably, an entire business he had set up and was earning money from. She had no idea about the business or all the money he was making, and no doubt spending on his girlfriend. I asked for the investigators' details and requested that they pull together anything and everything they could find about my husband. The investigator spent about a week digging online and came back to me with a report that changed my life forever. I got a call from the investigator, warning me that my husband's report would be a very difficult read and that I should open it in private at a time when I would be able to process it fully. Since receiving it, I have barely been able to eat, sleep, properly take care of the kids, or speak to him, and yet he is so absent-minded that he doesn't even realize something is wrong. It turns out that my husband of over 10 years has been, 1. Having an affair with a woman 15 years his junior. 2. Financing this woman's lifestyle and her failed business venture. 3. Attending sex parties with her, where they have sex with other partners. 4. Posting in a revolting online sex forum, including pictures of his privates and details of his addiction to corn and escorts to his creepy online friends. And 5. Based on his posts online, he has clearly been spending thousands on escorts as far back as 7 years ago. I have no idea where to go from here. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to confront him about this or if I should see a lawyer first. I know the obvious decision is to simply divorce, but our children are 9 and 7. I have loved him since we first met 14 years ago, and I know that I have a place in his heart too, in spite of these actions. If he is truly an addict, then maybe there is a way to get through this if he agrees to treatment? I am a complete mess, and I can't talk about this to anyone in person just yet. Any advice you have for me would be really appreciated. Relevant comments. Commenter. You are allowing your love of a cushy, expensive lifestyle to cloud your good judgment. You deserve better. Your children deserve a happy home, which this will never be with a parent who is any kind of addict. You will lose respect for yourself if you stay. Your peace of mind will have been sold for 20 pieces of Gucci. Get through the holidays any way you can. If your hubby becomes suspicious, blame it on holiday stress. Give your kids one last nice holiday season. Right after the first of the year, call a few divorce attorneys and interview them. Bring the investigative reports. Hire the one with whom you click the best. Follow your attorney's advice to the letter. They're an expert, that's why you hired them. Don't listen to family, friends, or strangers on the internet. Get yourself into individual therapy to help you deal with the betrayal. Have your children see a child therapist to assess whether they need ongoing care. Be kind to yourself, you've only just found out about a massive betrayal. You didn't know, but now that you do, you're taking proactive steps to defend and care for yourself and your children. Your husband is on his own. He can get into therapy or not, it's not your problem, and don't take it on as one. Your plate will be plentiful with your business and that of your 2 children. Wishing you and your children a peaceful and joy-filled 2025 as you move together into a new life. Ops response. Thank you so much for this comment. This was one of the most useful ones I have gotten, and I truly took it to heart. I have yet to get into therapy, as I simply haven't had time for it yet, but I am planning to the moment things start to slow down a bit. Update 6 weeks later. This is an update to my original post from around a month ago. Firstly, I'd just like to thank almost every single one of you who has commented to offer me advice or messaged me privately. I took a lot of advice on board, especially from a legal standpoint, and this has proven to be of great benefit. I apologize for my long absence and lack of replies. I hope the update below explains it. I chose to wait until after New Year's as I did not want to rob the children of one last Christmas and New Year's holiday as a family. In the meantime, I researched solicitors and sought recommendations from trusted friends. Rather humiliatingly, after much urging on this website, I also scheduled and went through with an STI test. It was horrifically embarrassing, but I am relieved to say that it came back negative. I don't know how I could have coped if he had gotten me sick because of his revolting actions. He made my job incredibly easy by flying out for a work trip, not that anything he says could ever be trusted, on the 2nd, and I immediately got the ball rolling, met with the solicitor, packed up all of his belongings into 6 suitcases, had the locks changed, and spoke to a child psychologist to work out the best way to explain things to the kids, who are far too young to understand the full picture, of course. Fast forward to a week later, and upon his return, I, having made sure the children were picked up by my mother after school, greeted him with a hallway full of suitcases and divorce papers. I had printed out the report in full and started walking him through it before he broke down in tears. It was a compulsion, he was unbelievably stressed, and if I left him, he would have no choice but to marry the other woman, whereas he would end it immediately if I took him back. This last part was truly the nail in the coffin. I don't think he even realized just how manipulative a comment that was. After hours of back and forth and his groveling, he gave up. He was left at the bottom of the stairs in the entrance to our home with his suitcases, waiting for a cab to take him to God knows where. There is still a lengthy legal process ahead, and unfortunately, it turns out that his infidelity doesn't really impact how assets might be divided following the legal battle. However, I'm confident that my solicitor will get the outcome I need to keep the house and live independently. In terms of the children, I would rather not discuss them to maintain privacy, but it has been an incredibly difficult adjustment, and sometimes I do feel guilty. As for myself, I am still completely heartbroken, and frankly, I don't ever hope to find love again. I just don't think I can quite trust like that anymore. Finally, I'd just like to add that while most comments have been lovely and supportive, I did receive a number of comments and private messages blaming me for my soon-to-be ex-husband's behavior, claiming I did not give him sufficient sexual attention and that I shouldn't complain because he provided me with a certain lifestyle. Firstly, these comments are awful and betray a repulsive worldview regarding sex, intimacy, and marriage. Secondly, our ailing sex life was not my doing and was, at times, a criticism I myself had of our relationship, not the other way around. Thirdly, just because someone provides you with a lifestyle does not entitle them to treat you as if you're nothing, with no respect, no honesty. I would have hoped everyone would be aware of that. Up in the comments. Thanks for this. Sadly, because we are in the UK, cheating doesn't have much of an impact on divorce outcomes. However, my solicitor is among the best in the UK, and I trust that we're going to do some real damage.